Hello and welcome to this very short video. And today I wanted to just go through how we do a tarot reading, because a lot of people think that, you pick up the cards, you shuffle them and you put the cards down, but there's so much more to it than that. The tarot reading starts way before we even think about shuffling the cards. So the first thing we need to think about is a space. Where are you going to be doing that reading? Maybe you've got a corner of a room that you can set up and dedicate to readings. But if not, that's fine. Maybe you're going to do it on a table. But what is really important is, if you're doing it on a table or the corner where you are, clear away all the clutter. You want a clear space, because that's going to help you feel clear and enable you to get in touch with your intuition. It's always a really good idea to have a special tarot cloth that you can lay your cards on. Maybe you want to light a candle, burn some incense, or maybe you like crystals. I love crystals, and maybe you want to add a few crystals to your reading area. Whatever works for you, but make sure that you clear away all the unnecessary clutter. You switch off your phone. You just don't want any unnecessary distractions. And it doesn't matter where you do it, your readings, as long as it's quiet. And the more you read in that space, the stronger your energy and intuition will be. It's also really important to be grounded and in the right mind space. I would strongly advise against doing readings when you're feeling angry or upset or emotional in any way. If you're not calm, if you're not present, your readings are going to suffer. It's vital that your mind is in a good place, so that you can, the information that you receive, you can feel it, you can see it, you can hear it. And your information is going to be a lot more accurate, and it's not going to be clouded by how you're feeling or thinking. So it's really important to dump all our stuff at the door, not bring that into the readings. We need to quieten the mind, and we can do that simply by just sitting quiet and taking a few deep breaths, just for a few minutes. We need to let go of the day. We need to let go of any drama that's around us, anything that we've been holding on to, and open our mind to the possibility of discovering, hearing, seeing, thinking, feeling something new in the cards. And I know this may sound silly, but make sure you're not crossed your arms or your legs, because if you cross your arm or legs, you're blocking energy flowing through you. You want the energy to flow freely. And the other thing, when you're creating this space, before you even start your reading, set an intention. If it feels right for you, call in your guides, your angels, universal energy, whatever feels and resonates with you. Set the intention that you're going to do a reading that's true, that's accurate, that is, it's about love and light, and it benefits everybody. And we need to let go of our ego too. If we're worried about being wrong, or maybe with the other way, we think, wow, actually I'm a brilliant tarot reader, it doesn't bode well. We need to, as tarot readers, we need to be neutral. It's not about us. It's about getting the right answers. Your client is asking, is going to be asking questions, and we need to be able to get those answers for her. And it's not about us. It's not about what we think or feel. When reading tarot, we need to deliver information without attaching our emotions, our ego, or our need for validation to the reading. We simply need to sit there, tune into our intuition, and read the energy of the cards. So we've created our space, we've set our intention. Now we need to get the question right. So what is the question that's being asked? And when I'm teaching tarot, one of the things I constantly remind people to do is question the question. Never take a question on face value. It's really important that we get to the real heart of the question. Why is this question being asked? Why is it important? And we need to ask open-ended questions, questions that start with what, why, or how. Once we've got that, once we're clear that we're really, at the heart of the question, let me give you a quick example on that, because somebody might come, and one of the most common things is about love in tarot. When am I going to meet somebody? And then you ask, why is that important? Well, I've had a few relationships really, and they've not been very long term. So I'm just wondering, when am I going to meet the one? And so why is that important to you? And then your client might say, well, all my friends are in long-term relationships. I'm the last one. And I feel the odd one out. I feel lonely. So that's the heart of the question. So that's what we need to focus the tarot reading on. How can we help your client to not be lonely, and how can she help herself to find the right relationship for her? You can see how that's really important. So once we've got the question, then we need to choose the layout. Now, depending on what the question is, we might think, oh, we'll do a Celtic cross or this or that, or it might be that you're doing a bespoke spread based on the questions that your client is going to ask. So you're thinking that you've got your space, you've got the question. Now you know what the layout is, because every card that you put down needs to answer a question. So, it could be past, present, future. It could be a situation, problem, advice, anything, 3-card spread, whatever. Make sure that you're happy with the layout. You know where you're going to put the cards, and you know what question those cards are going to answer. So when we've done all of that, then and only then do we shuffle the cards. Give them a shuffle, and all the time we're shuffling our cards, we're thinking of the questions. We're thinking our attention is 100% on our client and the question that is being asked. And if we're doing a reading for ourselves, the same thing applies. We're thinking about our question the whole time. And then what normally happens, you get a feeling that it's absolutely right to stop. I get goosebumps going up and down my arms, and I know then that the cards are in the right order, and I'm ready to lay the cards out in whatever spread I've decided to do. So I've shuffled the cards, I've got my goosebumps, and I've laid the cards out in the spread. And then and only then do we start to read the cards. And I read left to right, I start to turn the cards over one by one, and I start to read the story. And I start to look at the cards and think, what's happening here? How does it relate to my client right now? How does this card relate to the position in the spread? How does it relate to the client's question that's being asked? And so I go through each card one by one, reading the card individually. And then when I've finished, I take a sort of step back, and I look at all the cards in the spread. And I start to explore, how they relate to each other, how they interact with each other. How's the energy flowing from one card to another? How do the cards engage with each other? Is there a figure? What direction is that figure looking in? Who is that figure looking at? So I start to weave that story, in a greater depth, start to link the cards together. And then when I've done all that, I need to sort of, again, think, right, has this answered my client's question? With everything that I've said, has that been totally focused? Has it answered the question? Because that's what they're here for. We need to make sure that we've answered that client's question. And then you're done. If you have answered that question, you're done. You may want to reflect on the reading after your client's gone and think, oh, I missed this, or I missed that, or I could have, whatever feels right for you. You might just want to reflect for a little while, just to think, oh, yeah, I've learned something here. So I hope that has helped you. As I say, just to briefly, when we're doing a reading, our reading starts the moment we decide to do a reading. But it starts with creating that space, creating that quiet space where we can sit and get in touch with our intuition, where we can leave all our worries, our concerns, our emotions at the door. We can be there in total neutrality for our client. We need to make sure that we've got the right question. We need to know how we're going to lay the cards out. And we need then to start to interpret the cards in relation to the client's question. And when we finish interpreting each card, weave the story together. How do these cards link? What more do they tell us about that client's question? And then just before we finish, we need to make sure we've answered that client's question in depth. But I hope that's helped you. Any questions, please do get in touch with me. It'd be nice to hear from you, but I hope you find that helpful.